So you want to visit Nauru, or just watching this video because visiting Nauru it comes with a little bit of work and it's quite interesting, as the country I'm about to visit today is seemingly interesting. The visa process for Nauru is a bit tedious. It's like back and forth process of emailing before you can get anything close to an actual visa to visit Nauru. Starting from the beginning, there are many resources online that say different things give you different information, and I found that even emailing immigration, they themselves give you all kinds of information, and it's very confusing. Starting from the beginning, I emailed immigration Rajiv something at nauruimmigration.au. And hey, so I would looking to visit Nauru in a few months. How would I be able to do anything? The immigration responded within a few days. They gave me a list of things that I would need and a bit of information at the bottom of what to do. The application is about 7 to 8 pages long in a PDF form. And it seemed that there were a few more things that they wanted. A criminal history and recent medical history? And I'm like, why would you need that? But in the email, Rajiv, whatever, said to disregard those two things. So what you needed was a booked flight, a booked hotel, a copy of your passport bio page, copies of your itinerary if you're traveling around the Pacific. It's weird because I'm unemployed and I'm traveling, so I don't have a job. I don't know how to prove occupation. So unfortunately, Nauru is not a country as a backpacker where I can just go in and just show up and get a visa on arrival and kind of go with the flow. Nauru, you have to go with a plan. And one thing I don't like doing is going to a place with a plan. Flying to Nauru is very expensive. I'm not sure what the costs are from Australia, but from Fiji, they're very expensive. They can range anywhere from $600 to $700 one way, and then you can decide where to go from there. And I found it cheapest to do a round trip from Kiribati to Nauru via Nauru Airlines. The plane ticket cost me about $200 to $300 round trip, which is one of the things I had to prove on my visa. And then next I had to book a hotel. There's like 2 or 3 hotels on the island. They look horrible. They just look basic. They look like your basic 2 to 3 star accommodation, but the cost is equivalent to that of a 4-star accommodation. And some of the websites, there's not really any websites for some of these places, so there's no way for me to tell like how much it would cost a night and if it would break budget or not. Emailing one of the hotels, Menen, it cost about $160, $180 for a basic room a night, which is way out of my budget. I don't think it came with breakfast or anything. So my option was to choose Airbnb. Unfortunately, there are Airbnbs. I guess there's some homestays on the island that you can choose from. I picked an Airbnb for $74 a night. Comes with breakfast and 2 friendly hosts to greet me at the airport and help me out with my time on the island. And they were willing to provide something to the Nauru immigration to provide as a accommodation, which is one of the things they asked for. I did make a copy of my passport bio page. For that, I needed a printer and scanner, which is not something you can find easily in the Pacific. For showing tickets of my itinerary around the Pacific, I skipped that shit. I didn't even bother. Just too much. It turns out they didn't really care. My occupation, improving occupation, I just showed a copy of some of my bank statement. I voided out some of the account details and showed how much money I have to basically show that I'm not there to stay. I don't care to stay in Nauru. I wouldn't be surprised that people have done that before, so bank statement worked just fine. The visa application itself is quite interesting, as it's open-ended in many spots, and the questions they ask is, your home address, the place of address that you have in Nauru, even though I'm not living there, your passport number. Oh, they even ask you for passport size photos, recent passport size photos, which I had to get in New Zealand. And they ask you to write your name on the back. I asked immigration, how the hell do you, I'm not mailing this in. Can I email this? So I just took a picture of the front and back and sent it off. They asked for any criminal offenses recently. Have you been convicted of a felony? Some questions I would ask if you were applying for a job. Once I filled out the application and completed everything, there's a point in time where I didn't know when I traveled to Nauru, so I filled out most of it and left 2 spots open, the hotel and the date, as I didn't know when I would go to Nauru. So I uploaded that online when I had the ability to scan. And when I was ready, I just used Photoshop to fill in the date and the hotel. I chose an Airbnb. Speaking of which, because the information is pretty vague, I happened to be in Suva. I visited the Nauru High Commission so I can ask questions about the visa application and the process. Absolutely zero help whatsoever. I didn't, I went and asked questions, and all they could say was, it's all online, do it online, do it online. I didn't even talk to the High Commission. It was his receptionist. Turns out everything is done online, regardless of what's asked of. Uh, there's some things I didn't even bother sending off. Turns out the application process was successful. It took about a week, just like they say, to process all the documents before I get a response back. You don't get approved right away, as they send back a correspondence email sending like an invoice to do a bank transfer payment to their Australian bank. 50 Australian dollars. It just adds just more work to do online. You may not have Wi-Fi in some places, and it's just a lot of things you have to do just to visit this country. Unfortunately, I left my BNZ account open in New Zealand. I still had some funds where I did it via TransferWise, which calculates the cost and the conversion. Next day they got the payment, and I got my visa via email, all via email. So it's a pretty lengthy process. It's quite a pain in the ass, but I guess there are other places in the world where it could be a lot harder. It's a bit tedious, it's a bit confusing, but with a bit of asking around and a bit of emailing, the visa application process can be done, and in no time you'll be visiting Nauru. It's a nice morning here in Tarawa. About in a few hours time I will be boarding Nauru Airlines on my way to Nauru to visit this small island, just because I am extremely curious. That explains this really unusual visa process for Nauru. I can't wait to visit the country just to kill my curiosity.